this video, we're going to talk about what documents you're going to need to sign when you're going to submit an offer. So for each client who finds a house that they like and they want to purchase a home, this is the process. First off, a loop is created, and that loop is the property address. Next, a document that I put in there, helpful information for buyers. I'll open that later. First thing that you're going to look at is the contract of sale. And this is a 13-page document of what the contract of sale looks like. So the way that it's filled out is that it's going to say that the offer is on behalf of the buyer and not the seller. And then you'll have a signature field where your sign over here. And what this says is that this contract is not binding for 3 days unless one of two things happen. Unless 3 days pass and the buyer and seller both sign, it becomes binding. Or within that 3-day period, you hire an attorney and the attorney reviews it. In that case, the 3 days goes out the window and your attorney will make sure that you are comfortable with the contract and go from there. So this is what the first page of the contract says. Here's what is important to look at on the contract. So this section over here is going to be the purchase price. So let's say the purchase price is $500,000. So you put $500,000, and let's say you're giving a deposit of $20,000, and you're taking a loan amount of $400,000. Okay, so here are the numbers that are important. So you have the purchase price, $500,000, the deposit of $20,000, and then you have the mortgage amount of $400,000, and the amount that you're going to bring to closing is $80,000. So you're putting $100,000 total for your 20% plus additional closing costs. So you always want to review the numbers on this section of the contract. Next, over here, what it says is that where's the deposit being held? So over here, I always like to write at the buyer's attorney, because then you know that your buyer, if the deal falls through, your attorney has the contract. And then the amount of days due is 5 days from when the attorney signs off. I never do additional deposit. Okay. Now over here, this says, what kind of loan do you have? So as we said in our loan, it was going to be $400,000. So let's just fill that out for $400,000. And then the terms of the mortgage would be a 30-year mortgage. And if you're taking a VA, first-time homeowners, or a conventional loan, or if there's no mortgage and there's cash, that will be there. Now this section says how much time you have for the mortgage commitment. And I always do 30 days. If you need more, we can write 45, and if the closing time frame is 60 days, but 30 days is enough time to have a mortgage commitment. The next is the balance of purchase price, and what that date is that date is the closing date. So either we could put an exact date or the amount of days from attorney review. So that just case by case depends on the situation. Items included on the sale. So this is going to be, I usually write as per MLS, or I specify. So does it include all the appliances? Does it not include the washer dryer? And we really have to look at which documents are and are not included in the contract. This line over here talks about the certificate of occupancy. Say there are expenses in the cost of getting a certificate of occupancy, which there are. If there's a well, there's well expenses. If they have to do repairs, there are repairs. So over here it says if the expense exceeds $1,500, then the buyer and seller will negotiate the cost. This is something that needs to be a conversation with your attorney as to what you're comfortable with if this unexpected cost comes through. And it says it's a single family home. There are no tenants. Is there lead-based paint or not? And this gets, if it is applicable, I click on applicable only if the property was built before 1978. And this is the inspection period. So you have a time frame for doing the inspections. And it says that the seller needs to allow 10 days for you to complete your inspection. The next important thing is the inspection contingency clause. So how much time do you have to do an inspection? And you basically will put down either, I usually do 14 days, which is 2 weeks. So you have 2 weeks to complete the inspections. And if the seller says, hey, no, we only want to give you 7, then that's something that the lawyers will quote unquote fight back with. The next important part is really not for you, but it's the agent who's working. Is it a buyer's agent? And if they're cooperating with another agency, the seller's agent, they'll put the seller's information, and then the seller's agent's information is here, the buyer's agent information here. And then you will typically see the commission amount for the buyer's agent, which is not something you're paying for, it's something the seller pays for. And then any addendums will be over here. So if you need to sell a property, it's going to say, hey, there's an addendum for a home sale contingency. Today we're actually going to be reviewing the lead-based paint disclosure document, and I think that's it for additional documents. Over here, the additional contractual provisions, your agent will write in, let's say if it's, limited inspections just for structural environmental issues, or buyer is waiving the appraisal. Any sort of additional comments that are important will be put in here. And then your handy dandy signature. Now on every single page, you are going to initial. Super awesome and super fun. Let's go back and see what other documents you'll need to cover. So we reviewed the contract of sale, and now we're going to talk about the dual disclosed agency. So if your agent is representing the buyer and seller, you're going to assign a dual disclosed agency because they're representing both the buyer and seller. Okay. The consumer information statement, everybody has to sign. The consumer information statement basically is like kind of a dictionary of what a buyer's agent is and a seller's agent is, and it goes through the difference, so you could read it. And then that's another thing you sign. Then we have the wire fraud, which basically says that before you wire any money, make sure that you know exactly who it's going to so it doesn't fall for any scams. And then over here, we drag and drop your mortgage approval letter. And then we drag and drop your proof of funds, so your bank statement with the balance of purchase price. If the funds are coming through a gift or the funds don't match your name, we have a gift letter. And then there is a seller's disclosure document, which is information from the seller regarding the details of the home. There's the lead-based paint, which is again a document you need to sign if the home was built before 1978. If there's a homeowners association, there will be a document for that. And the wire fraud we already talked about. And then lastly is an affiliate business relationship. If the company you work for is associated with another business, they'll have to disclose that information for you, so you'll know if there's a conflict of interest. So this is what a seller's disclosure looks like. It tells you the year of the house, when they bought it, and other information if there's a crawl space or an attic. Lots of fun, exciting things. Okay, and lastly, I'm just going to go over helpful information for sellers. So these are the steps of buying your home. So this is some of the documents that you will have to sign when you're submitting an offer, which is basically contract of sale, consumer information, wire fraud, and if it's this one. And then your agent will share it with you, and let's say it will go over here and you can sign, and you'll get this document in your email. Okay, hope you found this video helpful. Thank you so much for joining me. And if you liked, please thumbs up and comment in the comment section. Have a great day.